I went to a membership meeting. I was elected. Following that, there was a meeting of all convention delegates. And at that time, they sat down with the resolution book and said, okay, now we're going to resolution 2-1 and mark yes. And then we're going to resolution 3-2, mark no. Well, at one point, I spoke up and said, well, hang on a minute. I haven't even had a chance to read them. And they said, it doesn't matter. Just mark yes or no, because that's how you're going to vote when we get there. Now, ordinarily in our union, there are caucus meetings or maybe membership meetings where a resolution that is going to the convention is debated by the regular members, and they indicate to their representative that they're in favor or opposed. And that is, in fact, the way a member will go and vote on that particular resolution. I, on the other hand, went home that evening to my parents and was having a conversation with my father, who very emphatically indicated that if you've been elected by your members to attend convention, you're there as their representative, and that you're there to support their position. And when they have voted and indicated how they want you to vote on a particular resolution, it's incumbent on you to do that. But as I began to explain to him, that's not what was happening. That in fact, we didn't have a membership meeting. In fact, what it was is we were basically being told by the business agent how we were going there to vote. My father very clearly said to me, well, if that's the case, you go to the convention, you listen hard, sort out what you believe is in the best interest of your members, and do what the hell you like. I was also told when I got to the convention that there were certain delegates coming from my local that I should deliberately stay away from. They were just troublemakers, and they indicated one particular individual. Her name was Carol Arnold. And I never saw her for about the first day and a half of the convention. She didn't sit with our table. However, one of the reasons why we were told, and maybe a little later I can get into it, because politics being what they were at one time in our union was very difficult indeed. You need to stay away from her because she's a commie. When all of a sudden, out of the blue, late one afternoon at convention, she just sort of sat down and people started to whisper, there she is. I actually approached her at the end of the convention, indicating that I had been told I should stay away from her, and would she be interested in going for a drink so she could tell me why. And there actually began a 25-year friendship, but at the same time, speaking to her and certain others from our local, it became very clear that we weren't a very democratic local, that there were people that were not being properly represented, that voices weren't being heard. And from that, a group of us, I suppose, rose from the ashes and quite frankly did become quite a militant group within our local to try and make the changes that needed to be done. Going on from there, I could say that, did I ever aspire to be a leader? To take or ever imagine in my life that I would have had the good fortune to hold the positions I did? Never. I think it was what people saw in me and felt that it had to be me and that I was worthy of support. And had I not had the kind of support and hard work from others, I don't think I ever would have been very successful. So having said that, we realized that one of the things we had to do as a local is we needed to invoke change. And in doing that, we set to request that there be general membership meetings, and that these are the issues that we wanted on the agenda, and this is the information we wanted, and they wouldn't call meetings. So we would put our own notices together, and we would slide them through the glass on the bulletin board just outside the cafeteria, and when we'd go back at lunch, somebody would have removed it, and we would stick it back in again.